Hello, 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 and welcome to my kitchen. My name is Beverly Lucas, and I am the host of For the Love of Cooking Fridays. What do I do on Fridays? I try to show you how to make a dish or a meal that will always taste better than the restaurant. Trust me, better than the restaurant. I try my best to try new things and new recipes, and I'm always looking for what am I going to cook. And I have a best friend who has been asking me to make omelets. She was like, Beverly, you make the best omelets. And the one thing about omelets, making omelets, is you can use whatever you have. You can have a vegetable omelet. You can have a meat omelet. You could have spinach, it's just endless. So what I'm gonna do today is I'm using some of my leftovers for my omelets. So I'm gonna introduce my ingredients to you. Here I have 2 eggs. You can use 2 eggs or you can use 1 egg. One thing you wanna make sure you do when you crack the egg is we're gonna crack it in a bowl so that we make sure that egg is good. I learned that in home ec in 1980, long time ago. Okay, we have our salt and pepper that we want to put in when we mix it. For me, it permeates the egg instead of putting salt and pepper on it afterwards. This is some ribeye steak that I barbecued on the grill by myself the other day. We have some of that left. I have some asparagus, my favorite, and I have blanched this asparagus. When you blanch this asparagus, I cooked it in chicken bouillon with about half a cup of water, 1 chicken bouillon. I put on my timer for 3 minutes. That's it. When it goes off, what I do is I put it in a ice bath to make it cool off, and then it also helps it to maintain that pretty bright green color. I had some tomatoes in the refrigerator, so I diced those up. I have some beautiful white button mushrooms that are diced. They're not diced, they're sliced. They're sliced. We have some red onions. My favorite is cheese. You can use any kind of cheese. My favorite is Swiss cheese. I have probably about 3 tablespoons of some heavy whipping cream that I'm going to add with my eggs to make my egg fluffy. We have, of course, when you have onions, you got to have garlic. And then I have an avocado. And I'm trying something new from Trader Joe's. It's called the Green Goddess. When I looked at the ingredients, it has minced onion, salt, granulated garlic, black pepper, chives, green onion, spinach powder, lemon powder, dried parsley, and safflower oil. So we're gonna see what this is gonna taste like in the eggs. And then of course I just have some butter. I have some butter to saute my ingredients first, because I always cook my ingredients before I put them in the omelet, except for the tomatoes. The tomatoes I put on because you really want that tomato taste, and you don't want the sauce from the tomatoes to get all into all the other ingredients. Again, that's me, that's my preference. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to saute our vegetables. So I'm just going to bring you over a little bit closer. Let me see how close I can get to. So I have 2 pans here. I have one for to saute our vegetables. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do that. So I'm going to put this on low. And while that is on low, let me tell you some kitchen gadgets that you have to have. This is one of them, a rubber spatula. This is what I'm going to use to actually flip the omelet and to cook the omelet. So you need that. Oh, then of course you got to have a fork, right? Because we have to mix the eggs. Or we could just use a whisk. You know what? I think I will use the whisk. Okay, let me move you back a little bit so that you can see what I am doing. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to crack the eggs. And as I said, I just learned this habit. The habit of washing your hands between food preparation, of course, when you get started, and for cracking eggs. Because I guess back in 1980, sometimes the eggs were bad. I do this all the time, but I've never had a bad egg. So we're gonna put it in the bowl. And I'm going to add some heavy whipping cream. I'm not even gonna use all of it. I'm gonna put a little salt, a little pepper, and a little salt. Oh, where's this new thing here? Haven't even opened it yet. Just gonna use a little. It seems to have the right mix of herbs and spices. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my voice this morning. This is early morning. It's about 9 o'clock. And I do have to go to work today. And I am the power woman. This t-shirt and this pearl cachet is from a company called Power and Pearls Boutique. So I am an ambassador and I wear her pearls. I tell any compliments I get, I tell them where to go on the website. The website is powerandpearlsboutique.com. The owner, the CEO, her name is Tanya Sloans, Esquire. And not only am I her ambassador, she's a very special friend to me. And she purchases from me also my food. So here we have the butter has melted. I'm going to add all these onions. And mushrooms. Some people say they don't like mushrooms, and I always explain that mushrooms just take on, the taste of whatever you cook them in. So it all depends on what you cook them in, although I just like them with salt and pepper. And let's do that. Let's put just a little salt. And a little pepper. And we're gonna let this saute. Okay, so our mushrooms and onions, the onions are transparent, so they are ready to go. But before I stop, I'm going to put in the garlic. You always want to put in the garlic last. And you only cook garlic until you can smell it. I tell people that all the time. Burnt garlic will ruin your entire meal. So just make sure it's all in there. And it is, so I'm going to turn that off. Then I'm going to put in the asparagus. So I'm going to turn the heat off. I'm going to put in the asparagus. And lastly, I'm going to put in the pieces of ribeye. Because they are meaty, I don't want them, taking them off the heat. I don't want them to cook. And that's what we have so far. That's what it looks like for our omelet. So I'm going to take it off the heat right there. Okay, so our butter has melted. We want to make sure that we covered the entire pan like this. Now, I'm going to put in my egg. And first, I'm just going to let it sit as it begins to cook. I have it on low. This is going to be my lunch for today. Now, as it has sat for a while, what you do is, I don't know what this is called. I'm sure it's called something. But you're just trying to move the egg around so that it all cooks. So if you can see, I'm just pulling up the sides like this. I'm trying to make it as large as I can with the pan that I have. And I'm trying to make sure all the egg is cooked. I like my eggs cooked hard. Well, I like them soft too, but I guess it just depends on my mood for that day. And as you can see, I'm just going around just randomly trying to make sure that all that is cooked. It doesn't take long for the eggs to cook. This is probably the shortest video, one of the shortest videos I ever made. But this is for Margarita Jones in Texas. My girlie who loves my food. And you always love people that love your food. Okay, that's looking good. You can see. It's not going to cook all the way dry. And then when they bubbles pop up, I just use this just to put them down. And that's what it looks like. So now, I got to tell you about my cookbook since I'm staring at it. For the Love of Cooking cookbook, I wrote back in 2021. I sold back in 2021. I actually wrote it during the pandemic because I was posting food and people kept sending me messages asking me about the recipe. The first thing I'm going to put on there is I'm going to put on the cheese because I want the cheese to melt. I think that's enough cheese. Then here are all those vegetables. I need to make sure I get all that meat in. Now, I'm going to put in a few tomatoes. Look at that color. I always pay attention to the colors and the textures of everything that I cook. Now, I'm just going to do my best. I might need another spatula to help me out here. I'm going to try to do my best to fold that over. Just like that. Turn this off. And I'm going to slide on the plate. Yep, and I'm going to let the vegetables stay like that. And then, I didn't cut these up very well. There you have it. And with this, I have some green onions that I have prepared for garnish. And that is your omelet. That looks absolutely delicious. I am not going to eat it now. I am actually going to pack it up for lunch in my little lunch box. I'm going to pack it up just like this. I'm going to leave it on the plate. I'm going to cover it. It's $9.29 now. I will have it for lunch. I will also have an avocado. I was going to cut it up, but you really don't want to do that. You want to be able to eat it immediately or put lime juice on it, and I don't feel like doing all that. So I'm going to put all that together. And that is going to be my lunch for today. With a bottle of water, and that's it. So thank you so much for joining me today in my kitchen. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial on how to make just a simple omelet. And remember, you can put anything you want in your omelet. And it's good to make omelets when you are cleaning out the refrigerator or you have vegetables that you have not used or meat. Use it up before it spoils and you have to throw it away. You could always make an omelet. Oh. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, why don't you subscribe to my YouTube channel? Why not? It only takes a few minutes. It don't even take, it takes 1 minute. 1 minute to subscribe. If you watched this video and you liked it, give me a thumbs up. And leave me a comment. And if you make an omelet because you never made one before, send me a picture. Especially Margarita Jones in Texas. Send me a picture. So this has been so much fun spending this time with you. I really love doing these videos because I really do love being in the kitchen. The kitchen is my passion. It is one of my purposes, and it's what I feel like a power woman indeed. This is Beverly Lucas, and I am signing off, and I will see you on next week. Thank you so much again for joining me.